and subscribe.
A lot of people would like embrace it. They would be like, "Oh, she looks," you know what I'm saying? Like, and it felt like, "Oh, this is a good thing." So I had to like, work through all of
Okay,
that
so
and try to.
let me bounce it back for the audience because they couldn't hear you. So I'm talking to Jessica. Jessica is 29. She's 5'7", 240 pounds, and she said she don't want to go into 30 this way. She said she likes to be married. Um, and I asked her a little bit about her family. You know, her mother and father are married. They're both large people. She has siblings. Most of them are large. She was homeschooled. My point ultimately was this. She didn't go to college. And my point ultimately was after you left the mother and father's house at 18 years old, whatever age, you stopped being homeschooled. You've had at least 10 years to get out from under your parents' way of looking at things, and you've seen the world. And I asked the question, what have you done from the time you not homeschooled to now to get the weight under control? And the answer was not much. My follow up question is this. You said this has been a recent movement, right?
Yes.
Okay. What made you decide to start looking at this now?
I wasn't happy, or I wasn't fulfilled, and I just realized how many things were landing on each other, overlapped each other.
Have
Like
you
I
ever had a
wasn't.
long term relationship?
No, no, no.
Are you a virgin?
No, I waited a long time, but not no, not anymore.
Okay, so it's not okay. You waited a long time.
Hmm.
What's the longest relationship you ever had with a man?
It was it was a month. I just really didn't like. Have you
Okay.
ever heard? There was this song by Mary
No,
J.
no, no,
Blige. She
no,
was
no, no,
talking
no, no,
about
no, no,
how she
no,
was a
no,
mess,
no, no,
and
no,
I
no,
did not
no,
want to
no,
get
no,
married
no, 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 no.
with anybody.
Listen,
If it was just because.
okay, you're not listening. I need you to listen to me. You've been in a relationship a month with a man, and you're almost 30. Um, I need you to unmute yourself, but I can't have when I start speaking. I need you to go ahead and just let me talk because
Okay.
okay, your mother and father are married. What is your father? Does your father want you to get married?
They haven't expressed anything about it. No.
Do you how many siblings do you have?
I have four.
All women, all girls.
No. Two are boys, two girls.
Okay. You're the oldest, right?
Yes.
Are the two girls, are they still in school or are they
No.
over 18?
They're all over 18. Yes.
Okay. And are they overweight too?
Yes.
And are they all single?
No,
Unmarried?
not one of them. One's married.
Okay. So what I'm not understanding here is if she could get married. I was going to ask you is how's your father helping you with this? Because it's really unusual to hear a woman your age that's only had a 1 month relationship. But when we're talking about it, I can tell you your social skills need work.
Okay.
Because yeah, that's a fair point. Not only does her social skills need work, but it's just the more you add on and the more deficits you put yourself in, of course, it's going to be harder to try to get the outcomes that you want, right? Men go off of appearance and looks first, and if that is at a negative or a minus, you having no social skills and all of these things will come out. And eventually, look, men are good readers, even though a lot still fall into some of the tricks and the ruses, but they're good readers in terms of determining value. You know, what value does this person bring?
And that is not uncommon for people who are homeschooled.
Agree.
And what have you? So what did you? Okay, so you didn't go to college.
No.
So what did you do from the time you 18 to now?
I worked. I worked.
Good.
And I didn't go to college because I thought what I wanted to do didn't require college. So
What you work doing? What? What's your profession?
I'm I'm a manager at a fast food place.
Okay.
Don't okay. I know it's a bad all the way around. I get that. I'm just trying to figure out how to go from here. It's not that I don't understand what you're saying. It's hard to even face it sometimes. I know where I am. I know that I'm completely not where I should be. I'm
Well,
trying
where
to
should you be?
figure. I should at least be in a in a place where I'm able to say yes and no to certain things. Right now, I'm in a place of where I'm
Do you
always
live in your own?
scratching for.
Do you live in your own place?
I live with my sister. We live together. It's a mutual thing. It's not like we're like I live with my
How
sister.
much are you making annually?
25.
And what city you live in?
Baton Rouge. That's a lot of information.
Well, you ain't
Don't
paying
have
me.
nobody
You ain't
stalking
paying
me.
me. Here's the thing. You ain't paying me. You welcome to go to my website and pay $949 for an hour.
I, I,
But you
I,
can't afford
I,
that.
yeah. Oh, oh.
I mean, you want me
I,
to? You called in, so you wanted me. See, I don't understand you folks who call in and say you want some help and you ain't paying for it, and I need to.
no, that's not it. I don't like giving out a lot of
Well,
personal
then,
information. That's fine.
then why would you call
No, I
into a
mean
public show? See, this
we're
is what I
talking
mean,
on
man.
a.
This is what I mean, Jessica. Let me be honest with you. Don't nobody care about you down in Baton Rouge. Don't nobody know you. I don't have your number. You're just a
Okay,
voice on the phone.
got you. I got
But what I
you.
said, your social skills are lacking. Even people, when the sound was off, could hear that something was going amiss. And what I'm trying to understand is, man, if you're 5'7", 240 pounds, and a fast
Mhm.
food manager at 20, going on 30 years old, you got a
Mhm.
lot of problems. You can't even
I
take care of
get that.
you can't even take care of yourself, and
I
that's going
get
to
that.
be what it's going to have to be if you don't get with a man. And what's going to be problematic with a man, outside of your height and weight, is your lack of social grace.
Mm. Okay.
Because if you think the questions I'm asking, why would if somebody wanted to date you, don't you think some grown person is gonna say, "Hey," they're gonna ask you your age. If they meet you at a convenience store, they're gonna ask you what you do, and from
Yes.
that point, they're gonna ascertain how much you make. That's why you didn't want to say you worked at fast food, because we all know that's not
Right.
a. So my thing is
Right.
this: why do you can't
Why what?
live? You can't. Why such a uh, you're chuckling and stuff, and I'm like, well, is this funny? I don't,
No, I'm
I don't think it's funny,
I'm
man.
trying.
Yeah, you know what? That's a great point, right? Like all women do this, like have like this mechanism where they would just laugh when nothing is funny. Like there's no joke, no one told a joke, nothing is remotely funny about this. We're literally talking about health and trying to get the outcomes they want, and they laugh at it. Like, come on, I know men have been in situations where when speaking with women and the woman would just laugh for no reason. Like that's just the biggest turnoff. Why are you nervously chuckling?
I'm not
I'm tell you why I don't think
surprised on
I'm
the
tell you why I don't think it's
contrary.
funny. I don't think it's funny because
I'm not, I don't think it's funny.
okay,
I'm trying
listen,
not to cry. That's
what
all.
what? Try
I'm
not to
trying
cry.
not to cry.
Go
That's
crying.
all.
Okay, well, crying is there for a reason. But
Right.
ma'am, you got to do something. You don't have any. Okay, when somebody looks at a woman who's your height and your weight and your education, it just looks like unmotivated,
Right.
unmoored, and
Right.
that's not attractive to a man unless you were just fall out fine. But you. So I said earlier, what's keeping you from getting your dropping 100 pounds? Because that's what it's going to take.
I understand that. It was really just.
And for the people in the
Mm,
audience, there's no medical underlying medical condition. There's no Graves' disease or nothing. This is a matter of, I said it, you were raised like an average black person, and I got pushed back, and then it turned out to be she's raised like the average black person in a big family.
Right.
You know good and well you weigh too much.
Right. I
And,
do.
and so it does not take a brain surgeon or a rocket scientist to know you need to go to a gym. And
I know.
whatever your needs are and everything else, I don't, there's still ways to get it done.
Right.
Why not do that?
I am. I have been working out. It's just, it's. I know that it's gonna take an extreme push. I was
Go ahead. How many days a week are you working out?
3 or so, whatever I don't work.
Well, it can't be three. You need to be near six.
Right.
See, this is why I feel for so many of you young women. You're not under your father sounds like he failed you. I'll just be straight up. He's failed you, allowing you to be the height and weight you are with your you're not prepared for the world. So, but his work ended. Whether he did a good job or not, I'm going to say he probably did the best that he could. But that does not mean but it's your responsibility to do something. After age
Right.
18, you're an adult.
Yes.
So
It took a long time for me to realize that I couldn't like the
you couldn't what?
from where I was.
You couldn't do
It
what?
took a long. It took a long time for me. It took a long time for me to realize I couldn't blame my parents
Right,
for where I was.
right,
That's
right.
and it's easier to blame.
Yeah.
It's easier to feel anger. It's not
But
easier. It's more
feel anger for
comfortable
feel anger for what? I mean, they may not have.
because my dad is a talented person
He's a what?
and my mom is talented too, and my family is talented, but we're not where we should be.
Whoa,
We
whoa,
all have
whoa.
very natural talents,
Whoa,
and
whoa,
we're
whoa,
all
whoa,
we
hold,
have
hold, hold,
and
whoa, whoa, but hold on, pump your brakes, pump your brakes, pump your brakes.
yeah, I understand. It was a lot of things that like I
Hold
know I
on,
didn't
hold
have a
on, hold
very
on,
bad
hold.
life.
Okay, okay, hold on. Your father married your mother, right?
Hmm. Yeah,
How long have they been married?
it's gonna be 30 years
All right.
this month.
Well, even though he may not have been, when I say he failed you, I said allowing you to get to the height and weight you are. But it sounds like he
It,
married your. Hold on, because when you say judge them, um, that he's talented, your mama's talented, everybody's talented, and you should be better off. See, this is the problem with you millennials in this Instagram generation. Looking at Instagram and comparing. Who are you comparing your family to?
I'm not comparing them. I
Well, you
know
said
that
we're not
they're.
where we should be. Where's that? What does that mean? You're in one of the poorest
I
states.
just what
Listen,
I mean.
listen.
You asked me a question, so
No, you
you asked.
listen. Look, right. You're in Louisiana.
Hmm.
Your parents, your family, your father and mother had a responsibility to make sure you were fed, protected, secure, and educated. Did they do
Right.
that?
Yes,
Then they did their job.
I get that. Yeah.
So when I say he failed you, is to allow you to get to be the height and weight you are, and not let you know that, baby girl, you ain't. That's only you can't be that size and get a man. That's what I'm talking about. But mama got her man. Sis got her man. At the end of the day, what I'm hearing is a lot of outward stuff. And I'm not hearing a lot of stuff that you're doing. I don't care how broke you are. So you can go to you can go to Planet Fitness for $10 a month. Yes.
Yes.
All right, then why are you only in there 3 days a week?
Uh, I was only doing it when I'm off. I'm doing
Ma'am,
working out
I
when I'm
don't
off.
want to hear that BS. I'm quite sure I work more than you, and I'm in the gym. See, you got a problem, your weight, and the solution is simple: work out, drink water, eat more healthy, and you got to go do that. But every time I ask you, why aren't you in there more, there's a reason. There is no magic bullet. There's no magic pill.
I got that.
But what it sounds to me is though you really lack the motivation to do what's necessary to get the outcome it is you say you want. But that's no one's problem but yours. That's not your parents' problem.
Right.
But
I
let's say the other side. Let's say this continues to go down this way. What does life look like?
no, it's not. It's not. I've been no.
Okay.
I've lost weight and I'm keep going. I'm not doing this.
How much weight have you lost?
I've lost 20 pounds
In what time frame?
in a couple of months.
Okay. And what's your goal weight?
I don't know. It's going to be around 160.
Still too much weight.
I'm not excusing myself, but I don't. My my body carries weight a certain way, and
Ma'am,
I
ma'am,
don't.
ma'am,
I know
ma'am,
it. No,
ma'am,
look,
ma'am,
I don't.
ma'am,
I think less than
ma'am.
160 is going to be under 160.
No. See, I want people in the chat room. This is someone coming to an image consultant telling, yeah, but the way my body is set up, no. You're human. But the reason I muted her is because this is an issue in the black community. You have women who've allowed themselves to get into the size they are, and then when someone tells you that you need to be at a normal weight, she resists. This is why I'm trying to be as easy as I can, man, but 160 is still too much. But at the end of the day, I'm going to go ahead and open it up because I don't know what it else how I'm go ahead and unmute yourself. I don't know what you want me to do to assist you. Sounds like you know everything you need to do, but I'll be honest.
I was really asking.
To me,
I
ma'am,
was just.
to me, ma'am, it does not sound like you're really ready to do the work. You're ready to do what you want to do, but you're not ready to do what you
Okay.
have to do. And if you don't do what you have to do, you lost 20 pounds in 2 months. Okay? And if you've been a large girl since you were in high school or high school
Yes,
age,
I think. Yes.
that means the majority of your life you've been unhealthy. That means even when you get down to 160 pounds, the likelihood of you staying at that weight is it's not very likely. Fluctuate. Problem with weight over and over and over. And then once you get down to 160, then what? There's still people skills and stuff that needs to be done. I mean, one of your biggest problems is you don't make enough money to do anything. 'Cause I would say, have you talked to a therapist or a counselor or somebody? Because there are things going on with you, ma'am, that I'm not qualified to diagnose, but I know it when I hear it. But at making $12.50 an hour, um, this is this is not going to end well. It's not going to end well. And I'm from Oklahoma, where I see a lot of this. And you're 29 right now. It's going to really be tight when you're doing this at 45. I've seen it all the time growing up, and I can understand the feelings and everything. But I have to be honest with you and tell you, I hear it, but you need to turn those tears into motivation to get yourself in the gym 6 days a week and get on a healthy lifestyle. I mean, get and go talk to whoever. I don't know, government assistance, state program, uh, whatever company you work for. They got an employee assistance line. You need to go talk to somebody because you're living below. I mean, almost at the poverty line. and the people I talked with and typically over here are way on the other side. So I'm trying to give you what I can give you, but you got to increase your income to be able to take care of yourself. Because if all this comes down to, trying to a man you want to get married,
This really was what it was about.
well, what is it?
I'm just trying to present myself in the world the way I want to be. That was about that too, but that's a part of it.
Okay.
It's the whole thing. But I appreciate your truthfulness.
Well,
I do.
presenting yourself to the world, but you also got to be realistic with where you're at.
Yes.
And presenting yourself to the world is a hell of a lot easier when you start doing the work. See, like I said at the beginning of our call, I'm not hearing the desire to really do it.
Yeah. I've always had motivational problems.
Well, and unfortunately, that it shows itself in a person's weight. That's one of the first things I said when I was talking to people. What folks associate with this shows up in the weight, and um, unfortunately, especially our black women, that leads to a life of being basically a spinster, a childless woman. Um, and my aunts were like that. You don't want to go through life like that. But I wish you all the best. I do.
Thank you.
All right. Bye bye. Hello. What you got for me? Do you have a child? Okay.
So I have a question. I am a baby mama.
Okay.
Um, I am just I'm nervous.
That's all right.
I guess I want to know, how do I increase my value? I'm not necessarily looking for a high value man. I am
How old is your
looking for
child?
my daughter is 9.
Uh, what does her father do for a living?
Her father is in the military.
You say what?
In the military,
He's in the military.
yes.
Okay. What's his rank? Or what is I mean?
What's his rank?
Hmm?
E5.
Okay. So you have it, and what do you do for a living?
I'm a nurse.
All right. So I did a program talking about the kind of women high value men avoid, and nurses, and then women who were married to former police or military. I'm
Yes,
gonna tell
sir.
you,
I'm.
huh?
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna tell
I'm
you
sorry.
why I said that because you want to know how you can raise your value or what your value is on the market.
I guess my question is this. Let me try to word it correctly. I'm so nervous because I just started watching your show for like
Don't be
maybe
nervous. I mean, just as long
it's
as you're
the fourth
polite, we're
one.
fine.
This is the fourth show, and I never thought I would call because like I'm kind of scared of you. But I caught myself calling today
She froze up.
for dating.
Okay.
I'm in a relationship with someone, and marriage is what I want.
Okay.
And I do know, like, because I have a child and he doesn't have a child, I know how that could affect the relationship. And when you were talking about how guys think,
So I need you to
so
get. So you're dating a guy. You want to get married.
I want us to get married, but I
Okay. Do you want to get married or do you want to marry him?
having a child, is that going to affect it? We talk
Okay.
about it, and
Stop. You keep pausing out. I need to understand. Do you want to? Let me do this. Let me stop your video because maybe that's the problem. Do you want to get married or you want to marry him?
I want to get married, and
Okay.
I want to marry him.
How long have you been dating him?
2 years and a half. Well, it's more than a half. It'll be
So
3 years next month.
all right. He doesn't want to marry you.
Is that what you're getting, or is that what you're asking?
No, I'm telling you, he doesn't want to marry
Okay, why do you feel that way?
you. You're a baby mama,
Okay.
all right, and he's been dating a baby mama for 2.5 years. Has he proposed to you?
No, sir.
Then he doesn't want to marry you. It's a real simple calculus. Men know going in whether or not they want to marry the woman they're dealing with.
Well, I mean, listen, Kevin, very pragmatic again, right? See, and a lot of women have like a discrepancy with his approach, but all he really did was keep it simple. See, with men, we know who we want to date, who we would marry, and who we would not. It's literally a wife and everything else. Those are the two categories. So what Kevin is saying is most men know what they want, unless you're dealing with a child, some little boy. If you're dealing with any man, he knows what he wants, and he's not going to go in there BSing with you. So it's either he's BSing with you, or or you're not it, or he's going to take you serious.
You want to marry him because you got 2.5 years in it and your kid knows them and it just makes it easier. But you didn't require marriage for 2.5 years of your time.
I did, but
No, you didn't. You did not require marriage for 2.5 years of your time with him. So you're afraid to try to push for marriage because you know, just like I do, he's going to end up stepping. You push for marriage, this is what's going to happen. He's going to be out. That's what's going to happen. As soon as you push a marriage, he's going to say no.
Well, okay. Why do you feel that way though?
Because I'm a man and I know men.
understand. Okay,
Ma'am,
so
ma'am, if he wanted to, okay, ma'am, if he wanted to marry you, what's stopping?
that's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't feel as if I don't know if anything is stopping him, but I just
Yes,
know him like
yes,
working
there
on
is something that's stopping him. He doesn't want to. Why is it this so hard for you ladies to understand that men know if a woman is a marrying type or a side chick or a girlfriend? If he wanted, he is single with no children. Why would he want to marry you if he's had you for 2.5 years? He's not proposed to you. Has he talked about marrying you?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Has
We've
he?
talked about it.
How long ago?
We just both finished school. That's the thing about it too. We were both pursuing.
Right. School. So when you're in school, you can't get married. You know, there's a law in the United States that says people in school cannot get married.
I just didn't
How old are
want.
you,
I mean, I'm 28.
ma'am? You don't like the answer, but in your heart, you know it's true. You bring up
So
the
what
subject.
should I do?
Well, I'm sorry, man, but if you want to get married, this is a dead end relationship. There's nothing stopping a man. Okay, so tell me how this couldn't happen. 6 months into the relationship, he could have went down and bought a little silver wedding ring and said, "Hey, F, I want to marry you and I want your child to be my child. I want to marry you and I want to adopt your child." Now we're both in school, we both ain't got no money, but do you have an apartment?
Yes, sir.
Does he have an apartment?
Yes, sir.
So you see how you could have saved money right off the bat 2 years ago if you just would have got married and moved forward. If he really wanted to marry you, that rent that he would have saved or you would have saved, let's just call it $700, which is more than that. But we're gonna call it $700. That's $8,400 in rent a year. That's 16,000, almost $17,000 in rent saved alone in your 2 years. That's how men think. You would have saved around $20,000 if he really wanted to marry you. He could have married you years ago while you were in school struggling. He don't want to marry you, lady. And I know you don't want to
Okay.
hear this, but you didn't make it a requirement.
Okay. Well, without going into, I'll take that. So I guess, what advice would you give a person like me that wants marriage and I guess it's not
Well, why didn't you marry your
the
baby
right way?
daddy? First thing I started, why didn't you marry him?
I would love to have married him because I would have loved to have my family together.
Why didn't you
But
marry him?
he he proposed, but I don't know if it was like the cultural difference.
Hold on. He proposed. He got on one knee, presented you
Yes,
a
sir.
ring.
Yes, sir.
and proposed to you.
Yes, sir.
And you turned him down,
No, sir.
you accepted.
Yes, sir.
And then why aren't you married?
And then his mother didn't want him to get married to me.
So you married, so you had a baby for a pussy.
Yes, sir.
So did you already have a child by the time he proposed?
Yes, sir. We had our child first.
Stop.
He's older than me.
Stop.
Mhm.
How much older?
5 years.
So a man who's 5 years older than you, y'all got pregnant. You had a child. He proposed to you. You accepted. Who broke off the engagement?
I did.
Alrighty then. Case closed.
Kevin's like, yeah, let's get to the truth. Stop playing with me. But look, it's ironic, right? Because again, you could at least see the example of Kevin holding even a man accountable. Someone that has to sit there and listen to their family and their mother and decide on, let that be the deciding factor on whether they should get married to the woman they chose or not, is exactly what Kevin said he is. So again, checkmate. Good point. But she broke it off. Ain't that ironic?
You broke off the engagement. He didn't. Said, I don't want to hear shit about his mother or anything else. You left. You left.
I had no
I don't want to
choice.
hear shit about his mother. You left. You blaming it on his mother and the culture, and other people will hear that. I'm a man. I don't buy that shit. You left. He proposed to you. He did what he was supposed to do. You ended it.
Okay, so I guess maybe I should say he ended it if that's the case because
Who ended
I
it?
had to accept.
Did-
I had to accept what he was saying at that moment. And the
Exactly.
moment was
Okay.
like,
Whoa.
my mother.
Stop. He wanted to marry you, right? He proposed to you. You already had the child, right?
Yes, sir.
Then, oh, so since you want to do this, let's do it. You already had the kid. He proposed. You've accepted, but you didn't get married because you had to accept what?
You're tough.
No, I'm
Well,
real. You left your baby daddy and you left your fiance for what reason?
he left me. He basically he wasn't. It's not really explained over the Zoom, but it's all right.
Ma'am, you bounced between you left and he left. At the end of the day, who ended the engagement?
He said, my mother doesn't feel like my mom doesn't feel like I should marry you. She wants me to marry somebody the family wants. So I just took that as if, okay, then apparently you guys don't want me. So I just kind of sat back. I still was trying to pursue my family and everything else, but at the same time, I can't do what you're not doing. Like, he was military. He was never here when he came in town. He was with his mother. He's a great father. He comes get
Well,
her.
unfortunately, ma'am, I have to break it to you. You know, this is why you don't have a child before you get married.
I know, and I didn't
Well, I'm
want
sorry,
to.
ma'am. And here's the thing, I get it, but again, the tears, I understand them. But the
Because
work,
you're really like,
no, ma'am, I need you to understand because you said I'm tough. But it
you
sounds to
are.
me as though you don't want to hear, but it sounds like you need some of this because you live in a fantasy land. You're
No,
not
I
married.
had to
Listen,
find
ma'am,
my
I'm gonna
way.
mute you. You're not married to your baby daddy, and you're in a 2.5 year relationship with a guy who doesn't want to marry. Maybe tough is what you need.
Man, Kevin is 1,000% right. This is exactly what she needs. But imagine that the truth hurts so much that she considers that to be tough. Come on. Accountability, just like kryptonite to a lot of these women.
I'm sorry, the men don't get to cry about our mistakes. You're a grown woman. You're not underprivileged. You didn't get pregnant at 13. You were in your 20s, got pregnant, to a mama's boy. And you knew he was a mama's boy before you got pregnant. And because he tried to do this and he said, well, mama don't want you this, look, I don't care how you slice it. That's the legacy of your kid. And you wonder why the guy you're with is saying, see, you ladies don't want to hear the truth. You want people to say, "Well, it's okay, sis. It's all right. Bad man, bad man. Your baby daddy's a bad man. Your boyfriend's a bad man, and you're totally innocent in all of this. Your feelings are got hurt, and it doesn't matter. And then as soon as you start crying, guys are supposed to say, "Well, well, no, Queen. No, I'm not. That's not me. No, you're a grown ass, educated woman, and you decided to make a bad decision having a child before you got married, and you in this country, I'm in this country. You know that's a horrible way to do things. You're not a high school dropout. You're not a freaking orphan. You're a college educated woman. You should have known better. And because you didn't, I get it. But you don't go ahead and compound stuff by acting like you don't know any better and then going to get into another relationship with a guy who may have thought you were a great person, but you've been with him for 20, 30 months. And there's nothing stopping him from proposing to you. He doesn't want to marry you either. So instead of sitting back saying, you're tough, you need to ask, why am I dealing with men who don't want to marry me and I continue to linger on and try to make it become something that it never was? So if that's tough, call me tough. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you.
To the next caller.
Hey,
Hello. Hey. Good. Okay, so what do you got for me?
um, I'm trying to think of where I should begin.
Well, what do you want? What do you want out of a relationship?
As far as a relationship, I'm that's not really what I'm um
Okay, so
thinking about.
why are you here?
Because I feel like a lot of females don't realize a lot of things that we are supposed to do, regardless of how much we want to be independent and headstrong and have a voice. Like there
How
are
old are you, by the
still
way?
things
How old did you say you
that
were?
I'm 40.
Are you married?
No,
Have you been married?
no.
So why not?
I mean, I'm in a relationship, but I'm not married.
Because what I'm hearing you about to say what women should or should not do, what they don't understand, and that's okay. But I gotta ask, when did
I know.
why not married at 40? Why no kids?
I have children.
Okay, why not a
That's
husband before the kids?
um. Well, unfortunately, like
But how many
the
kids
others,
first?
I
How
didn't.
many
I
kids
have
do you have?
three. I have three.
Uh, all by the same father, different fathers?
No, all different.
Okay.
Oh man, it's gonna be one of these episodes again, right? It's gonna be one of these sad ones. Three kids by three different men, and we're just getting into it.
So have you?
Like I've always had the I want to be the housewife mentality, but being that my
Huh?
dad died when I was 9,
Whoa.
so
How can you be a housewife with three kids like three kids?
no, I'm saying before the children.
Okay, you said I've
before
always.
the children. I've always I've always imagined myself as the housewife.
Okay.
Like I've always
So I
wanted
got to
that.
ask you. Okay, I know
Younger.
when you close your eyes, maybe we imagine. What I got to ask is, why did you accept being the baby mama?
At the time, I didn't think I was just gonna be a baby mama.
But you knew you
Like
weren't. You knew
I
you were not
still
legally.
don't.
You knew what you knew you were not legally married.
Yeah.
So you knew you were going to
Uh,
be a baby mama because you knew you were not legally married. Yeah. So we kind of stopped that. That's why this home record stuff. We got to stop that.
oh yeah. Trust me, I know. Like
Well,
I'm not
so
even
but when
gonna
you
sit
come
here
in
and
saying that you don't
say
understand why women do this, and I'm like, women are going to ask, who are you to say this? And it's kind of hard to hear this
because
coming
I've
from.
done it myself. Like we don't want to hear
Okay.
the harsh reality, but we
But
need
what you
to.
did not say is women like myself. You didn't include
Oh,
yourself
I'm
in that.
sorry. Yes,
Yeah, that's why I'm
including
asking you.
myself.
Because you came at it like,
Yeah.
hey, I don't understand why women don't do this. And I'm like, well, the women are going to
Yeah,
ask, why are
including
you saying
myself.
that?
Like
Okay, all right, cool, go ahead.
I hate that it took me so long to
All right,
realize it.
all right. At what age did you say this all started to make sense?
I would say right before I hit 30.
No, can't. You're 40.
I know,
How old is your youngest kid?
15.
But if it's made sense at 30, why are you not? Okay,
Because at that point, it was more of a factor of, okay, I'm gonna be 30.
uh-huh,
I have 3 children. I
true,
have 3 different people.
right,
Now I need to find someone who would be
true,
like to take on that responsibility.
right.
And at the time,
And
like
how many
even
people have you
then,
dated in the last 10 years?
the last 10 years, I would say about 3 people.
3 people. Okay. And have all those people been willing to take on those responsibilities?
My current relationship, yes.
It better be an emergency.
And how long? Okay. So
Nah, ain't
one thing that the women tend to do is even when you know what you should be doing, you do what you like. So at 30, if you know, it all kind of started to make sense. If only one out of the two, out of the 3 relationships, then why have the other 2? Why not just work on improving yourself and being the best version of yourself? Why go through those situations if those men aren't willing to take on those responsibilities?
Yeah.
Because to men,
The
that just kind of equates to more mileage and more potential damage. That make
Very
sense?
true. Very true. And that was a fear of mine. Like in
Okay.
every new relationship that I started.
So what would you tell you that are in their late teens, early 20s now, starting to come into their womanhood and know they want to be housewives or whatever? What advice would you give?
If you know you want to be a housewife, you need to start learning how to not follow social media and all of these videos of, oh, I need somebody that has money already and he needs to take care of me before I do. Nope. The reality of it, nobody cares about that. Like, guys aren't going to tell you this. Like, even,
Do you have
like,
any daughters?
yes.
How old are your daughters?
One is going to be 22 and one just turned 20.
None of them have children, do
You
they?
supposed to be over there with John. With
My
Sean,
20-year-old just had one.
Oh, really?
What?
That's so good. Now the wheels just fell completely off. Whoa. You can't trust anything you said.
I know
See
that's
this,
right.
I don't understand you ladies.
Because it's like even even
No,
with my daughter,
no,
like I've
You
been
no,
do
trying to.
Catherine Machine
ma'am.
like that, yeah.
She's 20 and 22. See, I'm going to go back into something I said earlier. Instead of trying to find a fix for you, a man for you, maybe it's too young,
No,
man.
I
You know
stopped. I
that. You
stopped
know
trying
this is
to.
too much. You know
No,
she's
I
basic.
stopped trying to do for me. Like I'm
But my point
trying
is, ma'am,
to.
it is trying to be
Go ahead,
delicate about
speak. I'm
this.
sorry.
I don't like
It's
that,
crazy
yeah.
because she said she came to this realization when she was 30, right? She's 40 now. In what part of this realization couldn't you have told your daughters and explained to your daughters that they don't want to be in the same situation as you?
You ain't do it. You supposed to still be
It then
training,
boils all down
man.
to you didn't teach them right because your youngest daughter has a child now. She's a grandmother at 40 years old. That's what she is right now. She's effectively a grandmother. Let's say she was a grandmother at 39. She hasn't taught her kids much, which is scary. Three children, and 15 years old is the youngest. Well, imagine what he's gonna do. Imagine what the maybe the oldest daughter may have some type of sense because
Yeah, let me get my
she had
ass
more of
up,
the experience, more of the life experience than the others. Not much more, but still some type of life
Get my
experience.
ass up.
This is all just crazy.
But a mother of three with three kids and have a daughter of 20 with a kid who's not married, no one's going. These women aren't going to listen to you because they're going to say you couldn't even
Yeah.
keep your daughter.
Huh?
Sure.
I got that drum off.
So
Goddamn
I don't
credit clicks.
understand if you really learn what you say you learn. Your daughter,
Because I feel like right now, at this point in my life,
Yeah.
like I learned too slowly to to start to implement that on my
Yeah,
girls.
let me get my ass
So
up.
by the
but
time
if
of
you said you learned it
realization,
at
Can I
30,
hit you back?
your daughter, your youngest, was 10. She hadn't even reached puberty
Alright.
yet.
yeah,
But in
but
those 10
I was
years, you had
still
three
being
relationships.
like,
But in those 10 years, you had three relationships. And two with
yeah,
guys that didn't want to be stepfathers, right?
yeah,
Did those men meet your daughter?
one out of, well, two out of the three. Yeah,
So the current one and one of the other two?
yes, the previous one.
But your daughter, see what you're proving is the kids don't listen to what we say. They listen to what we do. If they see mama having one, two, three babies or three different men, dating men who don't want to be stepfathers, but just getting the man in here, and then you will even allow the man one, two of the three to meet her. Have you had counseling?
Yeah,
How long ago?
I would say 3, 4 years ago,
How long were you in it?
off and on for a couple of years.
So, so basically, no. And do your daughters live with you?
Yes,
So you have a 20-year-old, a 22-year-old, and a 15-year-old son. And you have three children that live with you, and you have a 20-year-old that's pregnant.
no, she just recently had the baby. He's 3 months.
Where's the child? How old is the child's father?
He's 20.
What do you think your son's gonna be?
That's,
Oh no, ma'am. And how long
I
you been
want
with this current
him.
man you're with?
We've been together for a year.
For a year?
Going on, 4 years going on. No, it just turned 5 years. Oh my God.
5 years,
It just
okay,
turned
5 years? So what are you, why, okay, you said you were the man who wants to be a stepfather. Why isn't he your husband?
I don't know. We haven't really
Oh my God.
discussed it.
Ma'am, no, this is some bullshit. This is a whole bunch of bullshit. This is a mess. Because I was trying to
It
ride
is.
with you. I was trying to trying to make it look good. Now my antenna's starting to go off. This is a
Hey,
mess.
just that.
Calm down.
Where's your, if he wants to be your, okay, why won't you get married?
I don't think I'm. I don't think I'm worth it.
Uh, all right. When at the bottom, when you're this deep, you just need to stop digging. And the first person that had to stop digging is you. So
I love you.
I love you
wherever,
too.
if you were not in therapy, you know you need to be in it to deal with whatever issue, to work on whatever issue. Because I can't address it. I'm not going to go any further. But man, the hardcore reality is you got a 22, a 20, and a 15. And I'm concerned that the 22-year-old may end up pregnant. I'm concerned the 15-year-old may end up getting somebody pregnant. You're not married to the guy you've been with for 5 years. This is just chaotic. And the center of the center of it all is you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you find yourself. So stop digging. Because this is what I mean by wrecking homes. We just do stuff. And we know we need help. We know stuff is wrong. We know stuff is broken. But we just keep going from one feeling to the next. But unfortunately,
I think that's why I haven't, as far as pushed marriage. Like I've.
you can't push marriage onto a man who doesn't want to be married. I don't trust that you even know what you're talking
Oh,
about.
I know that. No, I
Listen,
wouldn't
I don't even know
even.
that
I
you know
wouldn't
what you're
even
talking about. If a man wanted to
begin
be
to
married, if a
say.
man wanted to be your husband, he'd have proposed to you inside of 4 years. I, it's,
No, I know that. Marriage hasn't even been a thought.
it's just talk at this point. Home wrecking, man. This is bad. This gets bad for us because we just keep doing stuff. Um, and unfortunately, like it or not, the world does not care about our problems. And when we are out and about, um, the world basically deals with our kids. How to say it? Look, therapy would be good for you as a mother. And I need some group therapy, some family therapy. You can put together a family dynamic, but you're going to have to address the issue. I just put it that way. You don't have to be perfect. Nobody's perfect.